That's right, it's been 2.5 years, but the album reviews are back. And I might be 8 or 9 months late, but yeah, now it's time to review Aurora by Breaking Benjamin.
Hope stop the heart, lost beat and line. Cold walk.
So, firstly, I know this album came out in January. I was thinking of reviewing it, but just didn't feel in the mood to do these kinds of videos again. If you didn't know, a couple of years ago I spent about 6 weeks just reviewing every Breaking Benjamin album around the time of Ember's release. And after that I just sort of stopped doing them, but now I think it's a Seagull album. Where was I? Oh yeah. But now I think I'm ready to carry on, so here's an overdue Aurora video. So let's get the track listing up nice and quick so we know what we're dealing with today. We have So Cold, Failure, Far Away, Angels Fall, Red Cold River, Tourniquet, Dance of the Devil, Never Again, Torn 2 and Dear Agony. So, Aurora, Breaking Benjamin's acoustic album of reimagined songs from their previous discography. So what's the deal with this one? Well, it's not really a normal type of album in that it's a collection of songs from all of their other albums, besides Saturate for some reason. Seriously guys, you couldn't have picked like at least one song from the OG record on there? And they've remade them as acoustic songs. Okay, there is one new original song on there, so that kind of makes up for no Saturate. Now, this album has created a bit of controversy since its release, kind of understandable given that it wasn't exactly what we're expecting next from these guys. But as a little side project, it's not that bad. Of course, there is the gripe that all of Ben's vocals, with the exception of Far Away, the new song, are just reused directly from the original versions of the song. It is a little weird, when paired up with the multiple guest singers that appear on the album with brand new vocal recordings, but given how good Ben's voice is anyway and has always been, it's hardly that big a complaint. To be fair to them, they did put this thing together almost entirely on their 2019 tour from what I can make out, so they may not have had a huge amount of time to get their shit together. But I digress. The album itself is still quite solid. Personally, I'm not really one for acoustic music in general. It just isn't really my sort of thing, so naturally Aurora was never going to be my favourite or anything. That said, I really enjoyed what we got for the most part, and especially some songs that were surprisingly mwah. It's a bit tricky to talk about Aurora because it's 99% old songs just in a new style. The solo Ben songs are all great, the songs with the guest performers all passed the Jake approval test too, and the one new song is easily my favourite track from the whole album. In fact, it's what I'm listening to as I write this part of the script, or was listening to when I wrote that part of the script. You get the idea. Far Away is just phenomenal. If you don't believe me, then just go listen to it yourself. I don't know, that's getting in the video. Well, it'll be funny if it does, I guess. Easily one of the best things I've heard in the last year. There's lots of other good points to mention too. Adam Gontier from Old 3 Days Grace and Saint Estonia guests on Dance of the Devil, and there's an absolutely beautiful rendition of old favourite of mine, Dear Agony, right at the end of the album. Overall, there's lots of great sounding drum and acoustic guitar work in these songs that I'd say sound both new and also keep the basic core of what the original songs sound like as well. I don't think I can go into too much depth per se, since I'm both not a huge fan of the acoustic style or very knowledgeable on it, but honestly, if it pleases those holes on the side of my head that we call ears, then it must be doing something right, eh? Even if it's not what I was hoping for from BB, it's still far from a disappointment. As always, I have some personal favourites from Aurora. These are Failure, Tourniquet, Dance of the Devil, Never Again, Dear Agony, and of course right at the top is Far Away. It's right up there in case you couldn't tell. My reviews tend to be quite short and compact, and I think this one is coming to a conclusion right about now. I honestly don't know bugger all about music other than some basic things and what I do and don't like, but I still like to make these little reviews for fun. All in all, I think I'll give Aurora the same score that I gave We Are Not Alone, and that's 3.5 microphone-dicking bends out of 5. No, after 2.5 years, I'm still not taking the scoring icon seriously. If I'm doing a BB review and I'm giving it a score, and I find a weird picture of Ben doing something weird on the internet, you better believe I'm going to use that picture as the icons for the scoring system. So if you enjoyed hearing what I had to say, then leave a like and maybe subscribe too, because, get this, while there aren't any more Breaking Benjamin albums to review at the moment, apart from maybe some off-album songs. I have decided to branch out and cover stuff by some other bands. Recently I've gotten into 3 Days Grace, Saint Estonia, and a little group called Nine Shrines, so there'll be a good deal of reviews about those guys' work coming up on this channel. And who knows, maybe some other groups might get the review treatment from this guy that doesn't know what he's talking about as well. 2020 has been a pretty slim year so far in terms of content on this channel, and I think these videos could be just the thing to keep up the content on here for a bit. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video in some capacity, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Bye! In case you're wondering, that's my computer mouse, by the way. I use it to scroll through my notes. I can't memorise all of what I gotta say, you know. Yeah, bye.